What is up, everyone? Like I said, you're going to be seeing my face a whole lot more. It's a little bit late, but I wanted to hop on here real fast and talk to you guys about two different stories. The first one being like a little bit of a success story that I want to share with you guys, and then the second one is a little bit of a passion story of why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing right now and the things to come. But this success story that I want to kind of go over just real fast is, as some of you might know, I've been doing this 6-week postpartum class with a few patients here or not here, but at our local hospital. And we just wrapped up week number 4. So we have been rehabbing and assessing and working towards creating a functional mom bod while also rehabbing any issues that the patients might have that we need to be rehabbing. And this one lady who has been coming, really only we have the class twice a week, so potentially we could be like eight times since it's been 4 weeks, but she has missed a couple classes, so I believe she's only been at 5 or 6 classes. And so in those 5 and 6 classes, already today, she told me she can notice a difference in her stomach already, and she has a pretty decent diastasis. So we have assessed that on day number 2, that she does have probably about, I think, a 2.5 centimeter gap roughly on her stomach, on her core. So she does have a nice little diastasis. She's 5 months postpartum right now. So she's 5 months postpartum and has a diastasis. But anyway, today she told me that she has noticed, she can tell a difference in her stomach already. She can tell that the gap is not slowly, but it's not really slowly, but it's closing. So her gap is closing on her diastasis, and she is also can tell a difference. She can look at her stomach, and I think she said something about when she looks down, she doesn't just see her stomach. And this is only 5 or 6 classes, 5 or 6 workouts that she's done with me. Roughly, not sure how much she's doing at home. She might be. They all get the workouts and rehab exercises to take home, and they can do them at home. But yeah, I mean, she's already noticed a difference in her diastasis with 5 or 6 sessions. 4 weeks in, she's already noticed a difference. And the other thing that I thought was really big, almost bigger than some of these other things, is she told me today that she can pick up her one of her kids. She has 3 kids. She can pick up her kid with so much ease now. So much easier to pick up her kid. And once again, this is 5 or 6 sessions. I want to just say 6 sessions. But you guys don't really see what we're doing, but these workouts, they're not intense. And like I said, we are rehabbing. We are rehabbing the whole time. And what I told her today, which I want to try to preach, is she's noticed a difference in her diastasis. And we don't isolate, and we don't work just the core. We don't. We don't do core exercises for an hour. We don't actually do any core exercises. And she can tell a difference in her diastasis. She can tell that the gap is closing. She can tell that her stomach is smaller already. And wait, we don't isolate and do core exercises? That doesn't make sense, because when we want to lose our stomach, don't we do more core exercises? Crunches, ab exercises, planks, right? No, we don't. That's what I'm trying to get at, is we don't have to do those things to lose our stomach. When you train properly and when you rehab properly, especially postpartum, in 6 sessions in 4 weeks, she can already tell a difference, that her stomach is smaller. And we don't do core exercises. We don't isolate core, because first off, that's not the way to rehab your stomach. That's not how to rehab your diastasis. We don't do that. We don't do that. And she can tell a difference in 4 weeks. It's just amazing. It's amazing when you know and have the resources on how to actually rehab and train properly after pregnancy. The difference you can make in 4 weeks, 6 sessions. And like I said, we do rehab movements first, and then we have been slowly increasing the load and increasing our workouts a little bit, our exercises. We don't do rehab the exercise the whole time, but we always warm up with rehab exercises. And here's the key. Here's what we're doing that is making the difference. Why we're and not, not isolating, not doing core exercises. What we're doing is we're breathing. We are concentrating on our breath. We are training our brain on how to breathe properly. So when we are going to squat down to pick up our child, we automatically breathe properly. So we automatically are rehabbing throughout the day instead of just when we actually like do the exercises or work out. We actually train our brain to do it naturally. And so technically, she's only been with me for 6 sessions, but she had already told me that she can already tell that she's breathing differently. So technically, she's worked with me for 6 sessions, but since we have been really focusing on learning how to breathe properly, and she's doing it naturally outside of the gym, technically. So she's always rehabbing. And that's what's making a difference in her diastasis is breathing strategies, learning the breathing strategies on the exercises. So what I've talked about the last live is just the breathing strategies, but I wanted to share that success story because it just lights me up when the process and the systems are put into place the right way after postpartum, after pregnancy. When those are lined up and you have the right resources, you can make a difference in just 4 weeks. Is she where she wants to be? Of course not. She's still, we're going to assess her again in hopefully a couple weeks to see exactly where her diastasis is. But the fact that she can already tell a difference is huge. It's amazing. That's why it's really key to have the right resources, to have the right person, to have the right coach who knows what they're talking about. So you're not wasting months and months and months doing not the right things that are actually going to rehab you and get you to where you want to be. But that's my little success story that I think is just huge. I mean, she's 5 months postpartum, and you have to remember you're postpartum forever. So if you have a diastasis and you have a 10-year-old, we can rehab you. We can train your brain to learn how to breathe properly so you're rehabbing all the time and not having to spend hours in the gym. These sessions that we do, like I said, we have 2 classes a week. They're about 45 to an hour long, and they take that. We don't do like a ton of exercises or rehab. We educate, so we do a lot of just education, and we do rehab movements. But the breathing, because we're focusing so much on the breath and the breathing strategies and the other different strategies that are out there, it takes a while because we're not just going up and down on a squat, up and down on a squat. We're actually up, reset, make sure breathe properly, then down in your squat, up, sets. We do really low reps, and like I said, we're slowly increasing the load. And throughout each week, we increase like the load and do different rehab exercises, and she can already tell a difference. But that's my little success story. My other story I want to talk about real fast because we're almost at 10 minutes. I could just big is my passion on why I am really aiming towards moms. I actually have probably 5 different stories of why my focus is on moms, and especially the postpartum journey. I mean, moms in general, and then pregnancy and postpartum. But I just want to talk about one of them real fast, and that's just the postpartum. Why I really am passionate about helping postpartum women and just postpartum in general is because all of us moms, all of us women in general, our health has been ignored for too long. Our health literally has been ignored. There has been tons of research that has gone on and gone into the impact of the lack of postpartum care. There's research on that there's not a lot of postpartum care. And some of this research actually dates back to the 80s and 90s, but we still have better protocols for sprained ankles than mothers after birth. What? Think about that. We have better protocols for a sprained, not broken, sprained ankle than we do for mothers after birth. And that's wrong. That's so wrong. And this is a late study, but in 1990, or a late study, but a little far back, not far back, but in 1991, there's a study that found out that almost half of the nearly 12,000 postpartum women studied, there was 12,000 postpartum women that they studied. They experienced health problems within 3 months of giving birth. 12,000 postpartum women had some sort of health problem 3 months after giving birth. 12,000. Those symptoms which they never experienced before. So they never had these symptoms before. They gave birth. Within 3 months after giving birth, they had these symptoms. They had some sort of health problem. And these health problems lasted more than 6 weeks, typically. But also, there was a study published in 1995 that concluded that the present 6-week, this really gets me worked up, but the present 6-week postnatal exam does not appear to meet the health needs of women after childbirth. I have been there twice for my 6-week follow-up, and it's a joke. It's literally a joke. Oh, you're cleared to do whatever you want to do? Go ahead. And as a mom who has a 6-week-old child or baby that you have to take care of, your thought process is not on you. You're expecting the doctor to look at you and take care of you because you're not thinking clearly about yourself. You got a 6-week-old, especially if it's your first child. You have a 6-week-old to take care of. You're not looking at you. So if you don't know any of the signs and symptoms, you don't know. And you see your doctor at your 6-week appointment. They check for, you have to fill out a questionnaire for depression, postpartum depression, of course. And they may ask you a few questions. They ask about birth control half the time, and then they send you on your way. And you never see them again, hardly, unless you go back for your yearly or whatnot, but you don't. And as a mom, you just think everything's right and everything's normal, and you have a baby to take care of. So your body and you yourself are put on the back burner. You're not even concerned, but you're expecting your doctor at a 6-week appointment to take care of you, to tell you or to let you know what's going on. Hey, if you're having any of these symptoms, then we should probably send you to a pelvic floor physical therapist. Actually, that's what they should do at your 6-week appointment, but they don't. And as a mom, you just don't care, or then you get tired. You're like, I don't want to see any more doctors. I don't want to see any more of this because 9 months of going to the doctor once a month, then twice a month, then 4 times a month, and then maybe even more. But the present 6-week postnatal exam does not appear to meet the health needs of a woman after childbirth. To put that into context, after I just went on a little rant, the women born when those first studies, so like 1991 and then the 1995, they were being conducted, so they're now old enough, so almost like me, pretty much me, because I was born in 88. So we are now old enough to be having their own children, and nothing has changed. I am 33 years old, and these studies that were gone back in 1991 and 1995, nothing has changed. Nothing's changed. It's incredible. 33 years of new things that are out there. Nothing has changed. And for me, I just can't stand to the side after having 2 kids of my own and let any more moms, any more women think things are normal, think symptoms are normal. It's just time to support moms in their healing. It's time to put moms first so they can have the best version of themselves, so they can take care of themselves, so they can take care of their kids, and not think things are normal. That's just one of my passions, because it's just 33 years of research and studies and nothing's changed. It's awful. It's just awful. And so that's just one of the reasons I'm very passionate about this. And I could go on and on and on. The video is already longer than I want it to be, but I could go on. But that's just one thing. And yes, Marietta has a physical therapist who I have been in contact with, who I've been networking with a little bit, who is supposed to come to one of my classes. And I've talked to her a little bit, and hopefully we'll be talking to her more and more, because I really want to kind of go more in depth on this with her. But I also want it to be, I want it to be the norm. You go to your 6-week appointment and then you go to a pelvic floor physical therapist. That's what it should be. And it's not, but that should be the line. It's like, you have to remember this. If you go in for a big surgery, or you go in for any, let's say a shoulder issue or whatnot. So let's say you have a rotator cuff injury and you have to have surgery on it. So you go in, you have surgery. Then what do you do after that? You go to physical therapy. Childbirth, whether it's vaginal or a C-section, cesarean, is a surgery. Vaginal or cesarean, it's a surgery. But nobody takes it as a surgery. Nobody considers it a surgery. They think you're fine, or they assume you're fine, and you assume you're fine because maybe you don't know any of the signs and symptoms. So at your 6-week appointment, you don't come up with anything. Plus, you have a 6-week-old. You don't have time to think about what's going on in your body. You have a 6-week-old. Lack of sleep and everything else. But there is, to go back to there is a pelvic floor. I wouldn't call her an actual like actual pelvic floor physical therapist, but she is a physical therapist who has gone to schooling and has certifications to work on women who have pelvic floor issues. But she also, I believe she does work with other like therapy patients, but she is one who, if a patient would come in and have a pelvic floor issue, they would send them to her. And I'm pretty sure I think it's Amy Bowles. I think that's her name. I have to double check my email, but I have been in contact with her, and hopefully we'll be in contact with her more as I try to create this network with her and some other folks and whatnot. But we do have one. But there's on my certification that I have, we have a portal. We have a portal where we can actually search for pelvic floor physical therapists, like an actual pelvic floor physical therapist. That's all they do. And I need to go back in there and look and really, because I wanted to for my 6-week class, as well as have a list of some of the ones. Unfortunately, where we live, we're going to have to travel, but it's worth it. I mean, it's worth it for your health in general. But we do have one on hand, and it would be good to see her anyway, because she is close by, and just to see. I think everybody talks really good about her, so I think she would do a great job. But that's just, yeah. Yes, our area is, but I think it's not just our area. I think it's the world. The world is lacking in prenatal and postpartum care. Like, it's just my little rant on your 6-week appointment. See you later. You're gone. But like I said, you're literally a surgery. I mean, a child is coming out of you one way or another. Like I said, whether it's vaginal or cesarean, and we don't treat it like a surgery. I mean, the woman's body is pretty darn amazing, but it also needs healing. I mean, we can't just expect it to go back to how it was, especially 9 months of things adjusting, things changing, the pressure that the baby's putting on your pelvic floor, the pressure the baby's putting on your core, your abdominal wall, how it's, pushing that stomach out. And I mean, it's just amazing that the thing is, the 6-week appointment is a joke too, as my last one I was not too happy with. So that's why I'm kind of passionate about it, but you have to learn to speak up for yourself as well. The world's lacking, and I'm here to bring more light to the prenatal and postpartum care 100%. That's my goal and why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's one of the big reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. And 2021 is the year of the postpartum and prenatal care for me and my sake, as I try to do my best to get it out there, because it's really key. It's really important. Just in general, I truly believe that you have to pour in yourself before you pour into others. But if you don't know how to pour into yourself, meaning if you don't know how to take care of yourself, if you don't know what the signs and symptoms are, how are you supposed to? Especially being a first-time mom, how are you supposed to know what to look for? Because the world and society tells us a lot of things are normal, especially after I have trained so many women who be like, well, don't make me jump because I'll pee or I'll leak or whatnot. And back in the day, I didn't think anything of it, and now I realize that's not normal. You can actually fix that and rehab that. Just because you had a baby, just because you're a mom now, that's not actually normal. But I didn't know any difference back then. But now with all the education I have gone through, all the studies and researchers that I've been listening to, watching, creating this, I realize, wait, that's not normal. But society kind of tells you it is. That's just normal. All moms are like that, but it's not. It's not. And with diastasis, a lot of times people think you have to have surgery to fix that. You don't. Some women have really, really bad diastasis, and they have to if they want to have the look. But you also have to remember the difference between functional and how it looks. But anyway, this video is extremely long, but I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, but I won't. Not tonight, at least. But yeah, that's my little success story and my passion story in a nutshell. But if you guys have questions about any of this, if you're watching this later, please do not be afraid to reach out. That's what I'm here for. And I love to know any questions that you might have, because I'm sure there's other people out there that have the same question. And just remember, pregnancy is temporary, but postpartum is forever. And I will preach this and preach this and preach this, that if you are 50 years old and your child is 30 or 20, you're still postpartum. If you're having symptoms and signs or anything that has been always told you as normal, it's not normal. We can rehab these things. We can fix these things. But anyway, I hope you guys, it's Friday night. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night and a great weekend. I will probably not be on here tomorrow as we are going, we're doing something. Anyway, so I probably won't be on here tomorrow, but just stay tuned. Lots more to come. I did just post on the Trainer Steph Facebook page and my Instagram on diastasis, on how to check that. But if you're pregnant, I put that in the description. If you're pregnant, I do not check for diastasis. It's something that is a normal thing that happens during pregnancy. And if you do check it during pregnancy, it's just something else that's going to be in your brain. And we don't need that. So don't recommend that one bit. But if you are postpartum and you have always kind of been concerned about if you have diastasis, I made a little, there's some pictures of how to check and a little description on how to check if you have diastasis and what is normal and what is kind of concerning and what you should look for in that. But yeah, more to come. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you watch it later, post questions below, post questions on the video, and or send me a message. This video is really long, but it's all right. I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.